Hi everyone! So my mom and I are going on a little adventure today. It's actually going to span this entire weekend. So it's currently Thursday and we're going to be gone Friday and Saturday and coming back on Sunday. There's a quilt show in New Hampshire that my mom wanted to go to, and there are also a lot of antique stores in the area. So I think that's going to be kind of like our Pennsylvania trip, just going through a whole bunch of antique stores. But I don't know how good they will be, and there aren't as many of them as there were in Pennsylvania. So we'll see what this footage ends up being like. But I just wanted to create an intro for this video if this does end up being a video. This is my outfit today. I'm wearing my jellyfish dress made out of tulip pink fabric since we're going to a quilt show. I've got on pink socks from Amazon and Remy's from 8. Also on a little hairnet that matches this dress. Then I have on my military jacket. This is one of 2 jackets I'm bringing because they're the only jackets I have that are small enough to be agile through antique stores. And they also have pockets, so I can actually just stick my wallet and phone in here and not have to lug around a purse. And then the belt's vintage. So that's my look for today, and now it is time to pack the car. So I've driven for like almost an hour, and of course I don't have any evidence of me driving, but I promise I was. But it is so pretty that I just want to take some B-roll. We're taking the ferry to Connecticut, so we're going through the part of Long Island that's against the water, which I guess is most of Long Island, but we don't usually see this much water, and it's so pretty. That's not really ocean, that's just a puddle.
Ocean's on the other side.
I need to be driving to get that side.
And that house.
That's the dream. Oh look, there's a boathouse. You might be able to afford that one someday. Sorry, you can't see it in the camera because it's so tiny. I had a dream that the ferry sunk. But I also have dreams that Gwen runs a successful Instagram account where she sells leather purses. Custom leather purses. And that hasn't happened yet either, so I don't put a lot of stock in my dreams. Also, Gwen's a dog, so.
Further require that passengers remain off the vehicle at all times during the trip. We also encourage you to report any suspicious activity to the nearest crew member. Thank you for sailing with Crossout Ferry aboard the Mary Ellen. Enjoy the trip, secured to dock. Once again, thank you for sailing with Crossout Ferry aboard the Mary Ellen.
So we have officially been to the quilt show. I got 2 small cuts of fabric, vintage fabric from the quilt show, but that was about it. Film anything there, but it was nice, and we were there for about an hour and a half, maybe just an hour, and then we headed over to Antiques on Elm, which was about 5 minutes away once we figured out where our car was parked in the parking garage. And it was a really nice little store. I ended up getting a hat, a few cuts of fabric, and some buttons. They had some large bags of buttons. I don't know, I think it's like missing owls woven in it or something.
You could add owls, squirrels.
Or like get one of those garlands from Joann's.
Yeah.
We have made it to the room. It is an older hotel, but it is quite a bit nicer than the one we stayed at in Pennsylvania. Now I think we're going out to dinner and then to the grocery store to get some stuff for breakfast tomorrow. And yeah, that's the plan. Then it will definitely be time for bed. I'm tired. I look tired. You can tell I'm tired. This is my outfit of the day, featuring a hotel mirror. So I had second day curled hair, so I brushed it out and stuck a hat on. This was one of the first hats I purchased. It's a vintage hat. Still one of my favorites. I get a lot of wear out of it. Then this is my dress. It is a new dress, or new to me dress. It's vintage from the 50s. And I got this from TheBluestHatter or BluestHatter on Instagram. I can link them. And I love it. I think it's so cute. It fits me so well. However, I popped the top button off this morning when I was getting dressed. So I don't think there's any way it can show anything, but that's not ideal. And then the belt is just a leather one from the 80s. And for shoes, I'm wearing the Claire's from Royal Vintage with some black socks. I know, shocking. I never wear these, except I wear them in like 90% of these outfit of the day videos. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing today, and we are going to start off the day by going to Keepsake Quilting, which is about an hour and a half from our hotel. So they have Outlander fabric panels. Oh, that's funny. I haven't seen those. Found the prints. This one's amazing. So this is Keepsake Quilting, and I've already found like 8 things I want, and I haven't even ventured into the 30s prints yet. These are all 30s prints. This is a problem. I want this one, and that one, and most of these, if I'm being honest. Halloween stuff. Christmas. I really like this collection. I think they're all adorable, especially the sharks and the whales and the puffins. It's Michael Fabrics. It's Michael Miller. No wonder I like it. This is kids fabric, which basically just means lots of cute prints. And I love cute prints. Homespuns. I want all of this. So we just got out of Keepsake Quilting. We might end up going back, and right next door is Pineapple Fabrics, which we actually went into first. I spent over $300 there, but I got, I think, 10 yards of a really beautiful wool that's usually 30 bucks a yard, so I'm happy. And I'm excited to go back in here. We came back for quilt fabrics, and I ended up buying these. Aren't they pretty? 30s prints. This for blouse, and this for like a 1930s style blouse with draped sleeves. I love them so much. And then they wrote down some antique store names for us. So we ended up going back into the last store, and I picked up a few more 1930s prints, which are really cute. I don't know how I missed them the first time around. And then my mom also got a whole bunch of 1930s prints to make a quilt for me, which is really nice. So now we are heading off to some antique stores that they recommended in there. And we'll see what they're like, and then we're going to carry on our way. We've got a few other stops planned for the day, which are all antique related, which I am excited about. This is what I need for Gwen. Would that not be the cutest? Yes. I love it. I want that. It's ridiculous. I could put it on my blue feather hat. And something sparkly over there. So I don't think I filmed very much in that store because I was carrying around a basket, but that was really, really nice. It was called Concord Antique Marketplace. And I ended up getting 2 hats and some note cards for my patrons and a whole bunch of buttons from the 1950s. They had cards of buttons that were $2 each, and they had multiple cards of 1-inch buttons. So I got some in red and some in white, and I think those are going to be a really good versatile addition to my collection. And I get to add more pages to my button binders, which is very exciting. And now we're headed to Repeats, which is about 3 miles away. So hopefully that's good too. Now we just got out of Repeats, which I didn't have super high expectations for, and I'm glad I didn't. The people in there were very nice, but it was more thrift store stuff than it was antiques. It just wasn't our kind of stuff. However, I did get a men's small brown leather jacket for $8, which I'm pretty happy with. So now we are headed off to Glorious Possibilities and Snap It's Vintage, which are both about 15 minutes from our hotel. So we have enough time today to hit these up, so hopefully they're good. I think Snap It's Vintage is primarily a clothing store, so I'm definitely excited about that. I wish that would fit me. It's so cute. And there are hats everywhere. Hats.
Oh, there's more in the back too.
Yeah. So we just got out of Snap It's Vintage, and that was a beautiful store, and the woman running it was really nice. I will link their information down below, but it was primarily a vintage clothing store, so they had a lot of gloves and accessories and hats, lots of hats, as well as a good amount of clothing from the 50s through the 80s, I would say. So I'm officially up to a hat count of 5 on this trip. I think. So I bought a really cool 1940s hat with these beautiful ostrich plumes on it. So now we're off to food, and I'm looking forward to it. Alright, so I tried to film a time lapse while I was getting ready, but then my camera died because I had the wrong battery in it. But this is my outfit for today. I'm wearing the dress that I made as part of the 1960s Sewing Through the Decade video. It's not the most flattering thing in the world, but it's really comfy. Then I have this adorable vintage shirt from the 60s on underneath it. It's not long enough for me in the arms because long sleeve shirts never are, but I think it's really cute. And I'm wearing a bold lipstick look today. I actually went out and bought this lipstick because I forgot to bring mine. And then I have on ruffly socks to go with the schoolgirl style jumper and the Ruths from Royal Vintage. That is the look for today, and now we are going to a gluten-free bakery. This is where we are this morning, Me Kupcakez LLC, and they are a completely gluten-free bakery, which is fantastic because my mom and I both have celiac disease. My entire family has celiac disease, and it's really rare to find gluten-free treats. So they have cupcakes and donuts and all sorts of cakes, and it's all in this really, really cute building. Like, I really appreciate their commitment to the color scheme. All the arrows are pink, their shed's pink. Like, that's my goal in life. Their car is even pink. They have 2 pink cars. They're winning. That is my haul. Coffee cake, donut with chocolate and sprinkles, a s'more cupcake, and a chocolate cupcake. And then my mom got a strawberry cheesecake, a donut without sprinkles, and carrot cake. The carrot cake looks really cute. Yeah, that's like the ones we saw in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Siamese cat dream catcher, and a very provocative looking baby angel. So we just got out of Rusty's Antiques and Vintage Collectibles / Flea Market, and it was a lot smaller than I was expecting, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend that one. And we are currently on our way to Oldies Marketplace, which is in Massachusetts, and it had really good reviews. I really hope it's good because it's about an hour away from where we are. So this is stop number 2. It looks much bigger and more promising than the last one, and it has parking, which we very much appreciate because we're from out of town and we're not used to these old cities with very little parking. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're spice jars. I love them. I want them. We just got out of Oldies Marketplace, and it was nice. I don't think it was worth the hour out of our way, but they had interesting stuff and they had reasonable prices, and it was just enjoyable to walk through the way it was set up. There was lots of space in each of the little booths, so even though there were quite a few people there, it wasn't difficult to maneuver around. So the next place on our list was Vintage View, but we're skipping that because it didn't look that great. It's a antique and consignment store, and it didn't have as positive reviews as this one. So this is Canal Street Antique Mall, and it's kind of out of our way, but again, it has good reviews. So that is the next and final stop in Massachusetts. I found a sign for you, Mom.
Yeah. I put it with his style.
Thanks.
Yeah.
These are kind of cool.
Interesting.
They have skulls. I don't know, I kind of like them. Look how cute they are. Look how cute that is. This is coming home with me. This is what we just left. So 101A Antique and Collectible Center. And it was nice too. It was a lot smaller and it had kind of aisles and shelves for each seller instead of booths. but it was relatively nice, and they had a lot of stuff on sale. We haven't seen too many sellers with sale signs on this trip, but this place, I'd say most sellers had sale signs. So I got some pieces of jewelry that were 50% off, and then my mom spotted a Florence Ceramics figurine, specifically Charmaine in blue with hands, and you very rarely see her with the applied hands, so that's quite neat. So I got her, and she was $30, $25. It was a really pretty good deal for a Florence, and she's very lovely. I didn't spot any damage. So now we're heading off to New Hampshire Antique Co-op. So we just got out of this place. This isn't the best footage of it. I didn't film anything inside of there because it was so expensive and fancy. I didn't feel like I should be filming in there. There we go, that's better, much better. So it is called New Hampshire Antique Co-op. And yeah, it was disappointing because it was so expensive. It'd be beautiful if you were like hired to furnish a hotel, restoring a vintage mansion. They had beautiful, beautiful furniture and some lovely artwork, but the artwork like was thousands of dollars. This is our way to the New England Antique Mall. We're definitely not gonna get murdered. But if we did get murdered, it would take a long time for them to find us.
There's the garbage trucks over there.
There you go. Pointing out places they could stash our bodies.
If we could chop us up using this machine, this place.
I don't think that's what silos are for. I don't have a great feeling about this one.
I'm getting nervous.
You're always nervous. That's a really cute little kit. That's kind of like what we saw in the other place.
It's 29.
It's more than I thought. Oh, little baby shoehorns. I should get one of these for my purse. No, seriously, I brought a shoehorn on vacation with us to get these shoes on. Because I love these, but they don't like getting on my foot. And I don't like unlacing them. I haven't really been updating you guys because I felt very nauseous, and that's why I took all the bobby pins out of my hair too. But we've been to a couple places. We went to the New Hampshire Antique Co-op, which ended up being the really expensive one. And then we went to the Antique and Collectibles Mall of New England, which was the one in the really scary forested area. And that was pretty not great. I don't want to say crappy, but it probably wasn't worth going 15 minutes out of our way for. Though I did end up getting a little ship, which I'm going to use for a Halloween 18th century project. I'm already planning it, and I think it's going to be great. And by that point, it was almost 5 o'clock. It was like 4:30. So we ended up driving back and hitting up a few antique stores that we saw on our way. So they were smaller ones, and I got a few bits of trim at one, and then I didn't buy any at the other. But it was nice dipping into those quickly. So overall, it was a pretty productive day. It wasn't the best day of antiquing ever. It's definitely not comparable to the quality and quantity of shops that you'll get in Pennsylvania. There are a lot of duds mixed in with the diamonds, I guess. But we had an enjoyable day, and now I'm feeling a little bit better, so we're going to go out and get something to eat, and then I think we're going to head over to Joann's, because my newest pattern, it came out 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and I haven't seen it in person yet, so I want to go look at it, hopefully take a picture with the book, and buy one, because that's always a fun thing to do. Fall in love with this collection at Joann's. I think I'm going to get the silver, and then this to go with it. Then I've got more down there. Those two look better together. So it is currently 8:35 and we are back at the hotel. We've been back at the hotel for a while, though we did end up going on a little adventure to HomeGoods and Joann's. I might have gotten an 18-inch tall bunny statue that I'm going to put in my sewing room, though I'm not sure where I'm going to put it in my sewing room, as well as quite a bit of absolutely delightful fabric. But unfortunately they didn't have my pattern in stock just yet, so that was disappointing and kind of made the trip, I was going to say not worth it, but I got fabric, so it probably was worth it. And we've been at the hotel for a bit. I've washed my face, brushed my hair, eaten a cupcake that we bought this morning. Felt slightly sick from eating the cupcake, so, you know, as it goes. And we figured out that we're getting up at 6 o'clock tomorrow and leaving at 6:30. So it's going to be an early start because there are some flea markets we want to go to. There is Hollis Flea Market and Londonderry Flea Market. And now I'm just looking at places on our route back to Connecticut, where we're catching the ferry. Hello everyone, so it is currently 6:30 in the morning. We've attempted to eat and we have packed, and now it is time to pack the car. Before I do that, I wanted to show you what my outfit looked like. So today I have second day non-curled hair and I look very tired, which is accurate. Once again, rocking the red lipstick. And then I'm wearing the thing that I made for the 1960s Sewing Through the Decade. Yeah, so that is the outfit, and I'll definitely show you what the car looks like once we have it packed. Because I think it's going to be pretty tight, though not as tight as when we went to Pennsylvania. Though I guess that kind of depends on what we buy today, because we've got several more stops today. Very pretty area. Place to live. We went to the Hollis flea market and it was just okay. And unfortunately the Londonderry flea market was closed, which is kind of a shame. It says it was open online, but there weren't any vehicles there, so we just drove past it. And now we are on our way to Sturbridge Antique Shops. We're about 5 minutes from it, and it should be opening right as we get there, which is good timing on our part. So we are at this store. They have a whole bunch of darning items and little tiny sewing boxes. It's like my heaven. Look at the teeny tiny playing cards. And the teeny tiny shoes. I love them. I love all the little tiny like squirrels and bunnies. Tiny drawers. Those ones don't work. I found a booth and it's all hats.
It's $6.
Wow. This is a problem. In there, and it was fantastic. They had more buttons than I have ever seen. I don't know what it is about this area for antiquing, but it is like 90% buttons and baskets. Like, we've seen so many of those, and I am all for it because I absolutely adore buttons. So I got some more buttons, I got some more fabric. They had a great selection of hats in there, they had tons of jewelry, and it was just beautifully laid out. Prices were pretty reasonable, and we just really enjoyed it. It was probably our favorite that we've been to on the whole trip, which I was not expecting. We got there and we looked outside and we're like, yeah, we really won't be long here. And I think we spent the longest there out of everything. We were there for an hour. So it was really enjoyable. And now we're on our way to Scranton Shops, which I wrote skippable next to, but it's kind of on our way. And it looked good enough for me to write it down, so we're gonna give that a try. Shoes. So we just got out of Scranton Shops, which I had marked as skippable. It's definitely skippable. It was basically just one antique store. They did have some vintage gloves there though, and the prices in general seemed really reasonable. So now we are on to the Antique Marketplace in Putnam, which has come highly recommended. So hopefully that will be really good. Maybe even better than the one we went to earlier in the day that we were really impressed with. And hopefully they will have bathrooms and mosquitoes won't swarm the car when we get there, because that happened at the last one. That was not pleasant. This is gorgeous. We're looking at rings now that I'm a ring person now. It's a pretty belt buckle.
Yes. I mean, the whole idea of using vintage jewelry would just open up the whole...
There is a ton here, and it's really reasonably priced. But do they have any dachshunds?
That would be the question.
I like that. I'd wear that just as a dress. We have just left Putnam, and that was really good. I really liked the larger antique market. It had 4 floors of antiques, and 3 of them were pretty densely packed. The downstairs was sorted into stalls and aisles that were a little bit cheaper, and then on the main floor they had tons, and I do mean tons, of display cases. So it was a little bit archaic in the way that you had to ask for help to have display cases opened, but a lot of the things inside the display cases were pretty reasonably priced, so we really liked that. We spent quite a while there, didn't we?
I'd say an hour and a half.
And then we went to Jeremiah's Antiques, which is right next door, and that was pretty disappointing. I did end up buying a necklace there for my Anastasia project just because I wanted to have it. It was pretty much what I was looking for, and since it's so close to the other one, you might as well go there too, but I definitely wouldn't take the trip just for that. So now we are heading to New London, which is where we'll be catching the ferry, and there's also an antique store there that we're going to stop in at, and then we will have to entertain ourselves for a couple more hours because we're supposed to arrive at 2:30, and we don't have to catch our ferry until 6. This is our next and our final antique stop of the day.
That would be like so perfect for you.
So far the prices seem really expensive, and there's not a lot that's interesting to us, but it's nice to look around. And I met this fellow. It's fake unless any of your Australians or Floridians were worried. This is fake too. This dining set matches my outfit. I got a picture with it. This is the downstairs. It's much more our speed than the upstairs. There's a lot more of it. I wonder when that's from. That's a weird American flag too. Look at what my mom found. It's 7 feet tall. That's another thing you'd like.
Oh, look, they have a little one.
There's no way we're not leaving with those. Oh God, there's another one.
Oh.
We just came out of the Parks Antique Marketplace, and we actually ended up going next door, and it's called the Parks because it's right next to a dinosaur park. And there was this big kind of gift shop / tour spot that had a whole bunch of gems, like a room just full of stones and rocks, and it was absolutely beautiful. And then they had a bunch of jewelry too, and they had a room completely devoted to beads, specifically stone beads. So I ended up getting some really cool beads there. Spent about 60 bucks, and I also got some coral beads, which I'm going to use for an 18th century themed necklace. So that was really neat, and it was beautiful to look through. A lot of the beads were quite expensive, like they had strands of pearls that were $40 and strands of certain stones that were like $20, but most of what I got was $6 a strand, and they're really pretty, so I'm very happy with that. And it was a very nice little surprise. We weren't expecting that to be there at all. We just decided to bump in, and I'm glad that we did. My mom thinks I should inform you that I whined because she wouldn't buy me a stuffed unicorn, but I think that says more about her than it does about me. They had a really great stuffed animal section. Did I mention that the unicorn was glittery and it was made out of that sequin fabric that changes colors in different directions? It was pretty great. Here we go. This is the shot. Here it comes. This is the moment. Right? There have been 3 minutes leading up to this.
It's still interesting footage for.
It will be when speed it up times 20. My camera battery might die very soon, so I just want to show you how packed the car is after all of our shopping adventures. Believe it or not, this is not nearly as packed as it was after Pennsylvania. For Pennsylvania, we had the front seat completely packed too, and I was sitting in the back right there. And I've gotten questions about why I was sitting in the back in the Pennsylvania footage, and it's because I get less car sick in the back, and it's also easier to edit. And speaking of editing, this is the 1970s Sewing Through Decades video, and I also have an 80s vlog to edit. I edited the 1970s vlog on the way in, and we'll have gone a whole 10 years in the future on the way out. At least that's the plan. I'm hoping to get both of these done before the end of the car trip, so I've got quite a bit of work to do. It's also really foggy. We were early for the ferry, but not early enough to catch the ferry beforehand. So this is the one we're going to be on. It's just unloading, and hopefully we'll be able to get a good seat. And I'm going to try and go on the top deck at some point so you can see the view, because it's really foggy, so I think it's going to be beautiful from the top. My mom, however, will probably be clinging to a wall and trying not to throw up. But that's okay. I got a bag for her, like a good daughter.
So then we came, yeah, Joey went with you, Joey then went to his friend's house.
It's pretty magical out here.